A little overwhelmed, so y'all just bear with me. I'm not a Wonder Woman like all the other women that have been up here before. I'm just Tammy, so. I'm Tammy Carraway. I'm from Weston, Mississippi. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, I'm a therapist, I'm an educator, I'm an administrator, but I'm also a child of God, but I'm also a lady fighting lipedema stage 3. And I'm humbled to say that standing in front of you and representing the 3 and 4 ladies is overwhelming. There are so many women that I look up to that are not able to be here, that are hopefully watching us today. And I just want to say that I am amazed, by their stories, their experiences, and their knowledge, because my life is a whirlwind, and I need everything that they can share on our online community. So I want to thank them personally for the ones that are not able to be here. All right. I have nothing to disclose unless you want to know something about speech pathology or special education. All right. We're all here to build our community. So I thought this was appropriate. I actually tried to put the little sound bite, but it kept, making my computer shut down, so I took it off. All right, this is my family, my darling family. My husband, Ken, will be married 25 years in July. My oldest, Joseph, he is 20, and he is completing diesel mechanics, so my house smells like diesel. My twins, Anna and Samuel, who are graduating this year. And Samuel just had his Court of Honor for Eagle Scout, so that's what I worked on for the last month instead of this presentation, so y'all just bear with me. Joseph is also an Eagle Scout, thanks to my husband. So if that tells you what our life is like, it's work, Eagle Scouts, 4-H, fire department. We have, we're like 2 ships passing in the night. So, I also have a larger family. Whenever I married Ken, I inherited a precious son, Kenneth. He's, I had him when I was 11, apparently, but he gave me the best gift of my daughter-in-law, Bethany, and 3 beautiful grandchildren, Alyssa, Aiden, and Aubrey, and they call me Granny Tammy. So at the age, I was in my 30s, I got to be a granny. So be jealous. All right, how did I get here? Well, I am the youngest of 4 kids. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister. She tries to say that she's younger than me, but she's older than me. I was a daddy's girl, and that is my dad, and I lost him 10 years ago, and that was a pivotal point in my life. My health started deteriorating, and that's kind of whenever I started trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And it did take me a while to find the answers, but this is me going through the years, and I challenge every one of y'all to go ahead and do a PowerPoint for yourself. You're going to want these pictures. You're going to have to search for these pictures, because if you're like me, they don't exist, so you have to contact friends and family and say, okay, where's my legs? All right. This is me at age 7, my first bike. I was so cool. Yes, and I was a can-can girl in dance in 6th grade, and I know every one of y'all did your hair like that one time or another. That's me in college. Y'all, that's a horrible picture. That's at Christmas, that's wrapping paper all over the floor. But that's, like I say, that's when you're looking for pictures of your legs, you can't, you go with what you got. I was in sports growing up, my brothers played baseball, Dad coached, I was the bat girl. I was, that was my job. I moved up to softball, and then I played basketball and ran track in junior high. But I was, started noticing that my legs were different than everybody else's. So if you can pick me out of this picture, I was number 20 over there on the left side, and that's probably the last time I played sports. because, here we are running suicide drills for basketball practices, and all those mean boys in junior high, holler out thunder thighs, all that kind of stuff. So that was when I stopped playing sports. So, all right. Looking back, you try to figure out where it came from. I said, I have short, fat legs. My daddy has short legs. I said, I must have got it from my daddy's side because, y'all, look at my mama. What happened to me? This is supposed to, be, you get it from your mom. That was her at age 22 on her honeymoon. Needless to say, she did grow up in the Mississippi Delta. She had to pick cotton, and all they ate were peas and cornbread. But she had to work for her food. But that's her now. Bless her heart. She's moderate Alzheimer's stage, and she has, I would say, probably stage 1 or 2, and probably some lymphedema because her arms are very swollen. And it does run in her family because we have tons of autoimmune diseases that run in our mother's side. My sister has Graves' disease, thyroid issues. My aunt has lupus. We have breast cancer. We have just rheumatoid arthritis. We have a lot of things that run on my mother's side. Where am I at? Okay. So I did what everybody did. I actually found the icon. I found it, Dr. Google. I said, okay, if I'm going to have to live with these legs, can I at least try to get them shapely? Can I get my knees to look a little bit smaller? So, So I said, how can I lose weight in my knees? How can I do that? So I did that, and that's when my whole life and perspective changed. Up pops the word lipedema. I was 46 years old, and I'd lived with big legs all my life, and they're bruised all the time. They were heavy. It was hard to tote them around, and so from there, I did what every resourceful woman does. I go to the internet and start finding social media groups, support groups, looking for people, and I did. I found people just like me. And that was the summer it was June, and it was Lipedema Awareness Month, and that's when the video, the disease they call FAT, had just come out, and I watched it, and I cried. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is me. So then, I did what everybody did I looked for some support groups, and I put on there, okay, I'm going to my doctor. Tell me what I need to do. And, of course, they tell you, go to the file section. Here's some good things to take. I also found out, there's this wizard in Oz that you're supposed to go get an appointment with, Brianna Garrett. A couple of years ago, Brianna kind of made reference to this in her speech. But so I made my appointment for the next year, and I was just determined to find out more things. That September, that was June, that September I was volunteered to go model for compression with the Von Russell and Lipedema products so that I could learn. I didn't know anything about compression. I know it cost a fortune. So I went and did that in Utah from Mississippi, hello, and learned so much that weekend, met wonderful ladies that have become lifelong friends, and I've been blessed. That October, I went to a lymphedema conference in Georgia because Dr. Herbst was talking, so I went, and I actually got to meet Dr. Herbst then. And then my appointment came around, and I was finally diagnosed at the age of 47 with stage 2-3. All right. So my primary care physician has always worked with everything, all the recommendations that Dr. Herbst has sent for him to do, and I'm having trouble. I live in rural Mississippi. We have really not a lot of resources. It's true what you hear. We are 50th. So finding a therapist that I can go to is, my job. I'll go to work, I'm putting out fires until it's time to go home and then do everything else that our family does. So I haven't found a therapist yet to work with. So, I'm doing the best I can with that. I did go to Georgia and meet Dr. Bird and got what she recommended for liposuction surgery. So I'm not quite ready for that yet. But the things that I can control. Number one, I can control my compression. If there's anything I can understand, I understand compression now. I have several different types. I wear it. Even in humidity of Mississippi, which is like an armpit, you wear your compression. My diet, I have done everything. I've done keto, I've done Weight Watchers, but inflammation is what you have got to control, and you've got to understand what triggers you. Be active. You got to work on healthy habits. I mean, it's not, a diet's not going to get you there. You've got to, there's several things. You got to pay attention to your hydration. You got to pay attention to your stress level. Your eating habits, when you eat, how you eat, whether you snack, the times you eat. You've got to work on activity. You've got to work on your sleep. There's a lot of things you have to work on. I have found a diet that works for me. It's a program. I have a coach that works with me, and I eat 6 times a day to pretty much regulate my blood sugar. Now, I'm not cooking 6 times a day. That's not happening with my job. But I do have things that I call fuelings that I eat during the day, and then when I get home, I eat a healthy lean and green meal. So it's worked for me. I've actually lost 52 pounds since December the 20th. And I'm amazed daily. So I've lost 32 inches. I lost 10 inches in my waist, 10 inches in my hips, 4 inches in my thighs, 2 inches in my calves, and 1 inch in my arms. So, I mean, you can see that I know that I'm not just lipedema fat. So that's what I'm working on right now. And I want to so when I do have surgery, I want to get every bit of it I can. I don't want to, regular fat, I'll work on that with my diet and my exercise. But if I have to have liposuction, I want it to be 100% lipedema fat. So dry brushing, and self-MLD, that's, thank you, YouTube. I have that. I have a FlexiTouch, which I need to be more compliant with. As long as I have somebody there to help me get in it, I'm good. Rounding, I actually have a trampoline beside my bed because, it comes up to here, so I do my little bouncing, and then I jump in bed, and then get out of bed. It's there. And I also have a handheld massager, which my chiropractor introduced me to, and it's real good. It's, I can't think, I didn't put the name of it here, and I didn't put the picture, but if you want to ask me about it, it's powerful. I mean, it'll vibrate your fillings out of your mouth if you don't watch out. I can follow recommendations of my doctor and what medicines and supplements she recommends. And Dr. Herp's going to say, well, then do what I tell you to, because every time I go, she says, have you been doing it? I said, mostly. Immerse yourself in the lipedema community. There are so many people that are knowledgeable. As we've seen this morning, I am in awe. I wish I had that strength to do that kind of research that these ladies have done. Participate in research. If I hear there's somebody wanting to do something, I'm like, please let me, I'll do it, I'll drive. Vanderbilt, where are you? I don't live far from you, I'll come. I have to make myself a priority, and that's one thing that I have been really working on since this last year, because, doing for everybody else is good, but you got to do for yourself. I mean, I turned 50 this year, so I said, it's time for me to lose some weight. It's time for me to get my head right, and then it's time to get right spiritually. So that's something that I have really worked on this year. So, as I said, I came across this devotional. That's one thing I try to do is a daily devotional, journaling, and it's helped me mentally. It keeps your spirits up. So this is one that came across me, and I said, just in time. This would be perfect since I have no idea what I can talk about on this stage. it says 4 steps to spring clean your spirit. And I thought, oh, it's spring, this will be catchy. We'll talk about spring cleaning our spirits. So number 1, you scan for big problems that you may have overlooked. And like I said, I was actually diagnosed with prediabetes because of my A1C. So I knew I had to lose the weight. I needed to get the non-lippy fat off, and lippy fat if it ever would, react to anything. So, like I said, I started a program where I have a health coach. My health coach helps me. She keeps me motivated, and I'm truly blessed. My pains decreased with the weight loss. My saddlebags don't feel like armor anymore. They can actually jiggle. I mean, used to I couldn't even lay on my side because I felt like I was laying on a steel grate. So, dust off your irritations. Staying positive. Like I said, I'm a speech therapist. You don't judge me because I have a Southern accent. Trust me, I can role play in therapy. I can teach standard English. I do have that ability. But I did work with geriatrics in the medical field to begin with. And as a therapist, you're always push, push, push. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Don't give up. Feel the burn, And the nursing staff would say, y'all want people to hurt. We don't want people to hurt. We're like, well, if you don't, you got to get past the hurt to get to the progress. So I guess that kind of helps me with my attitude of I can overcome this. I might not overcome lipedema, but I can overcome at least where my mind is. So, and I get frustrated because of the lack of resources where I live. So I just have to go where there's help. And I have no trouble going. My middle name is Go. Ask my husband. So number 3, consider the clutter of your days. Back to spring cleaning here. How can I manage my days so that I can focus on what is important? Yes, we have a lot of responsibilities with our jobs and our families, but what can I remove so that I can have time for the things that are going to have a positive impact on my condition? I need to take time for myself, and I do. Contemplate what is lacking. What we fail to do affects us just as greatly as the things we do wrong. So put yourself out there, try things. Don't do it, don't hold back, do it. If it's wrong, it's gonna, you move on to something else. But not doing it, you'll never know. I have to push myself to find the treatments that will help me and stick my neck out there and go for it. I have to make it happen, and I'm going to do it with no regrets. So, like I said, I think the most support that I've gotten has been from my chiropractor. She says, oh, I want to learn how to do this to help you. I'm like, well, yes, that would be great, but all right. So, like I said, I'm a very spiritual person. In our church training union on Sunday nights, we're going through a What Are You Afraid Of program, and last week was Are You Afraid of Disease? And then this really spoke to me. This is a book called Gold by Moonlight, and the quote was, the bright flowers of the Aldewies is German. I can't say it. Who can say it? I can't say it. Y'all are awesome. Waiting to be gathered among the rough rocks of difficult circumstances. What they're saying is, yes, we've got this rocky mountain that we've got to climb. But along the way, there's going to be beautiful flowers that we can focus on too. So we've got to look for the flowers in our climb and not focus on the rocks. So it spoke to me. I hope it speaks to y'all too. All right, this is my contact information. As I said, my name is Ms. Go. I love New York. That's my email address. If anybody wants to chat, I'm always, I'm a speech pathologist. I will talk to you anytime you want to. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And after Dr. Bartholomew's speech yesterday, I had a group on Facebook that had not been active, so I tried to get it active again, and y'all probably saw it 15 times on all the groups yesterday for the Southern Belles support. So if any of y'all are in the South and y'all want to get together, because there is not a lot of people down there, We don't have a lot of resources. So if we could get a group together that we could meet, I'll drive. I love to drive. I just put my music on and I go. So thank you. I am honored to be here today, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the conference.